Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross stitch.
One stitch at a time. It's Pie Day. It's Pie Day. It is March 14th. Pie Day. I bought pie. I bought an apple pie. It was a frozen baked pie. Because my pie skills are not there, and well, I just didn't have time to bake pie, and all of a sudden this morning I went, oh, it's Pie Day, so on my way home from Mass, I bought pie. Anyways.
Let's be real. Laura just doesn't like to bake, so she bought a pie.
I'm not a big baker.
I know you're not.
You can't help it.
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
Ooh, look at those wrinkles. Okay, well. Oh,
Smile.
Happy Monday, y'all. How y'all doing today?
Sorry for the background chewing.
Yeah, I hope you can't hear that. If not, if you can't hear that, I apologize. The dog is eating her dinner. She's, her typical crazy greyhound self.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so how was everybody's week? We hope it was fabulous. Last week was eventful. I may have possibly smacked my toe with a door and didn't realize. It's kind of a long story. But
suffice it to say, somebody hit her toenail in a very bad way. Bleeding and bandaging and still hurting are involved.
Well, it was bleeding, and I didn't realize it was bleeding because it didn't really hurt when I first did it. But there was more blood than I expected to be there, and so I had to phone Mama, and it hurt for a few days. It's better now, but we're good. I didn't lose a toenail, and we're all good. And I didn't break it, and we're all good.
Yep.
But it made for an eventful end of my week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, do you want to shout out our viewers?
Hi, y'all. I will as soon as the phone stops moving. Anna, Andre, Angie, Glenna, Bridget, Teresa, Cross Stitch Chaos, Janet, Lynn.
And shout out to Cross Stitch Chaos, aka Cat, and Janet for comment.
Makes me happy. And I am sorry to all. I'm not going to be my normal bouncy self. My tummy's rumbly, and bouncing's not good for it. So I'm a little more than I normally am.
And apparently, Beauty and the Beast was started for Angie's. Angie started it for a sal or a challenge or something. She doesn't really remember. She figured she'd power through it and give it to her mom, but that wasn't happening. So now I have it.
It's actually funny. I had a conversation with one of my customers, and his wife knits and crochets, and I was like, yeah, I love how all these ladies like to ask me, how do I get my husband to cross stitch? How do I get my husband to do this? It's like, unless he asks, he ain't gonna do it.
Yep. And Janet wants to know how I do my counting. If I do it at the end of my stitching or as I stitch. I kind of have a combination method. It probably would be a little bit easier for me to explain when we talk about whips. So I'll explain it when we get into my whips. Why don't we go into whips?
Yes, ma'am.
Whips.
Whoosh. Whoosh.
He gets to go first. And guess what, y'all? I got him in a challenge group.
Because the lovely lady in the challenge group, I told her, Megan is the one who's running it.
Megan.
And I was like, I'd like to join your challenge group. Sounds like fun, but I don't count stitches. I've tried. It hurts my head. I actually had 6 different color highlighters to try to keep track of my stitches. And it still hurt my head. Because I was so worried about making a mistake. Now I am. So I literally wasted, I'd say, 20 minutes for 300 stitches counting. And I hated it. I just hated it. So I was like, can I do time stitches? You're like, okay.
Then she worked out, time for how much, and
Then I mathed out exactly how many stitches per block of time.
yes, and got it down to as close to by the minute as we could.
We got it to whole numbers. Those are the least to the lowest whole number ratio.
Right. So, and the group is Sims Stitchers. Let me double check to make sure I got that right. I will link it below.
And because I could actually see the appeal of challenge groups.
Yes, it's
because I joined on Saturday, right?
Yes.
I started
Friday night, Saturday.
I started stitching this when I joined. I got maybe like a dozen, like half of the center circle started before I joined this group. This is Ink Circles, Elemental, Dragons, Fire. I think I was actually showing something I shouldn't have there, but I don't think it was clear enough to see.
I didn't see anything. So.
And there's that, and I got that much done.
So he did a lot of stitching over the weekend.
Yeah, this is going to show us a lot better once it has fabric in the back.
There you go. Move your hand.
But yeah, I only had the outermost circle done. I got the innermost circle and all the rest done thanks to the challenge group.
Good job.
So sometimes it's just a matter of find a way of stitching that you like. Me, it's time, because I actually found out that on Windows it has a timer feature to it. I just searched in a little Windows search bar stopwatch. It actually had this alarms and thing that I clicked, and bada boom, bada bing, it had a stopwatch function. That's what I used.
Okay. Gotta cover the chart. Let us start with my parade of ornaments. This is Chris Lolly by the Queen Stitch. From the 2020 Just Cross Stitch magazine, Just Cross Stitch ornament issue.
This is funny. I'm sorry to interrupt. He's being funny.
Pause the video for a second. And we're back. I just found a needle in my shirt. That's been in the sleeve of my shirt since yesterday because I wore the shirt yesterday because I didn't go anywhere yesterday. Yes, I stuck it in the cuff of my shirt yesterday.
I haven't seen him all day.
Man.
We sit down to film, and all of a sudden, the cat wants my attention.
So I got 565 stitches done on Chris Lolly. I got one swirl done. There's a second swirl there to stitch. And this is just on a piece of white 32 count even weave. Because obviously white. Okay.
You could be one of those creepy people who turn it into full coverage.
You know. This is Silent Night by Ursula Michael. From the 2021 ornament issue. It's also on a piece of white even weave. So, like, counting this, I needed it. I used it for 2 different things. So I would kind of stitch a chunk and then count so that I could kind of be accurate to where I got. But here on Silent Night, and here on Silent Night, this is on just a piece of white even weave. I kind of like stitched the outside line of the barn, stitched the inside line on the barn, stitched Joseph, stitched the barn and counted, stitched Joseph and counted, stitched Mary and counted, stitched baby Jesus and counted. This was kind of another one of those stitch as you go things. Then I did North Pole Supply Company by Twisted Willow Designs. This is on the 32 random that I had in my stash. I kind of knew I did 300 and I did 210 stitches on Silent Night. I did 444 stitches on North Pole Supply Company, and I did most of the stitching on this before I even counted, because I knew I was going to need 400 and some odd stitches. So, like, I did the whole reindeer head. What?
Does the type of stitching change how you count?
Yes, because whole cross stitch counts as one stitch, back stitch counts as a half stitch, and obviously quarter crosses count as quarter. So that's why once I finished stitching the reindeer head, I changed counting because I did the words down here, and then I worked on the snowflakes. This is all a one color project.
That was the other thing I was mentioning is,
with the exception of there's 2 pieces of holly down here that'll be a red berry and 2 stitches on each for green leaf. Okay, hang on here. Gotta wrangle my fabric. I really should have cut this up, but I assumed that I was going to get more stitches done than I did. Than I ended up doing in a day. It'll be fine. I've got room for a couple more ornaments on this piece of fabric. I've got more fabric, so we're good. Alright. This, I can show you the chart because it is a free chart from Clauda Cross Stitch. It can be found on the web. I will try to figure out where I can find it and link it. It is titled In Support of Ukraine. So it is one of the Ukrainian support stitches. And this was 659 stitches.
dang.
I know. I stitched on this for one prompt. I don't remember what prompt I stitched on it for. Sorry. I'm trying to think what last week was. What last week's theme was. I don't even know where I buried my phone at this point. I don't remember what last week's theme was. It was the 200 weeks, so I was clipping through them pretty quickly. But then I just kind of... So I got to my... whatever my stitch goal was and just kept stitching on it and decided I was going to finish all of the yellow that night. There is a yellow ring on the outside of it that I have to stitch still, but that's all the yellow on it. And that was 659 stitches. This is a piece of 18 count. This is a piece of 18 count, Ada. And I did this with one strand. And I like the coverage on it. I have something else that I did on 18 count Ada that I did with that I ended up having to do with 2 strands. Slightly concerned about that because the thread that I had originally picked as the light blue for This pattern is the same thread. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. I apologize in advance. This picture stinks. This is called Oh Come All Ye Faithful. It is from Glendon Place in the 2014 Just Cross Stitch magazine. I made several changes to this because I pulled everything out. This is on a piece of... I don't know the count. But I do know that it's called Illusion by Silk Weavers. I don't know the count. I want to say it's 14, but I could be wrong. It could be 16.
I'm leaning more towards 6.
I'm leaning
your
towards
turn
16.
now?
So this lovely star here was supposed to be in all metallics and beads. And this up here was supposed to be metallics. And I was getting ready to start this. And I said to myself, do I really want to fight with metallics for an ornament that's going to be on my tree for 2 months of the year? I wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel it was necessary. But I did pick a sparkly fabric to kind of give that glittery night sky effect. And I do know that the prompt that this, one of the prompts that I stitched on this for was something that you would find in the night sky. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Like, my brain is just mush right now. This was 645 stitches. This is like, and I mean, this church is going to come down pretty significantly. This is not a damn ornament.
What? Wait, what?
This is not an ornament. It is called for on a piece of 28 count. And the stitching size is 108 stitches high by 68 stitches wide. This isn't an ornament. This will be finished into like a flat fold or a flat wall hanging or something. This is not an ornament.
Well, considering if it calls for 13 inches by 11 inches, this is more like a tree topper. But it's not built right for a tree topper.
Right. This is not going to be an ornament. But I knew that going into it, I knew it was big.
It's just pretty.
But it is pretty. But, again, for something that's only going to be up for a few months of the year, I just didn't feel it necessary to go through the hassle of the metallics. And also I didn't feel like digging out metallics that matched. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I paused. I did pause it and I actually stopped it when we were done. I was just fixing that while I was thinking of it.
Okay. And then...
By the way?
What? Yes, I see her. And then this is called Snowell by Linda Jenkins. I couldn't read it. It was blurry. And this is another one of those where it called for metallics, and I looked at it and went, is that really necessary? Actually, no. I am doing metallics on it. I'm doing the metallics a little bit differently than she calls for it. But this is on a piece of 18 count Ada. This is the project where I started it and I did it over 1 and I didn't like it. So I did it over 2 and I'm a little bit concerned because this blue is what I had picked for the Ukrainian project. I don't know that I'm going to go with this floss for that. Because after stitching it, there's a lot of variegation in this floss. So I'm probably going to do something a little different. But I got all of the N and the E done, but I screwed up in the N. It's minor. I can fix it. I just wasn't fixing it. When I realized I made the mistake, I wasn't fixing it. This was alternative stitches for this week's prompts, which, hey, there's my phone. I managed to unbury my phone. This was alternative stitches for this week's prompts. I gotta find it. Last week was International Women's Day week, This week is the Ides of March. I did that for alternative. Okay. And then I'm trying to figure out how to get this up here without. This is called Dear Santa from Turtle Bunny Creations. Dear Santa, for Christmas, I want peace, joy, and love. And I got 329 stitches in on that. The yellow is not so easily seen. So, and then I did do one other thing. Well, okay. Allow me to edit that for a moment. I technically did 2 other projects, but I don't have the stitches done on sampler book, which I pulled for a monthly. So you're not going to see it done. You're not going to see it this week because I don't have, like I said, I don't have the stitches all done on it. So I lied. I worked on 3 other things this week. This is why a couple of them don't have a ton of stitches on them. And I realized yesterday when I pulled out sampler book to work on it for the monthly, I only have 2 more monthlies. I only have 2 more monthlies to complete. Why am I stressed out about finishing the monthlies? Sometimes my brain is just doesn't make sense. Oh. I pulled out Claire by Nora Corbett. To work on. This is for, this went for the monthly for stitch on something where you have the stitch on a whip by the designer that you have the most of. Since I have 2 Nora Corbetts and 2 Mirabilias, and actually really only like 1 of anything else, that one's. So I did 315 stitches on this. And this I actually counted by line because obviously I'm just doing the fill-in on her. So like each line I will count and then and total it that way because that's what's easiest for stitching on this. So good chunk of it done. One more thing. One more thing. I pulled out Stitch on Your Oldest Whip. My oldest active whip is Cardinal Points by Gentle Art Sampler and Julia from Long Dog Sampler. I will finish this year. It is a goal to finish this year. I put in 317 stitches in on this. This was stitched on Thursday after I smashed my toe, so I didn't want to do a whole lot, but sit and stitch. So I did a lot of stitching Thursday. So I did, as you can see, I have all of the leaves done on the bottom border. So all I have to do is put, all I have to do is put the flowers in on the bottom border, and the border is done. And it's just filling in that bottom of the, the thing. And this is on a piece of Hand Dyed by the Slovak Farm, Cleveland Fog, I think. To be fair, I think this is one of the ones that got changed on me, so. All right. That's been my stitching for the week. I do have some haul to share, so we'll go on to haul.
Monkey button time?
Yes, please. haul.
Y'all.
I might have shown you one of these, but I know I forgot to show you guys the second one. So, Stitching with the Housewives released. I have, if you want a Stitching with the Housewives release, and you want to order it through my shop, message me. Because I tend to get all of them. I may not order them unless I get requested, because I'm getting a stack of Stitching with the Housewives stuff that's just kind of sitting here. But I really liked this Home is Where the Wreath Is pattern. As you can see, the O is a wreath. And then each letter is just one solid color. And then they released Wreath Swap Part 1. This is January to June. Wreaths for January to June. And one thing I will say about really liking this is the months are not like listed on there, so you can almost kind of do them how you want. Like if Easter's in March, because occasionally it is, you can put this up in March. There's not a St. Patrick's Day one though. There's nothing that's St. Patrick's Day on it. There's lots of flowers, so it's nice. But I'm not sure when Swap 2, July through December, will come out, but obviously I'll get that because I am going to stitch this and eventually stitch one or more of the interchangeable wreaths. Just to interchange. Alright, let's go on to plans. Plans and announcements.
Okay, last time we get to play my fun game. Clusters. Only 2 of them.
Yes.
And starting.
Stop.
I'm doing water.
Hooray! So you will start water. As I say, do you have the floss for it?
Oh, yeah. No, this one's going to be, I think, yeah.
That one's the one for water.
Yep. Literally, the 2 colors are very close. It's just the water one's more blue.
Yeah, the water one's more blue because we like that. So, that's... You should be okay. If not, I'll be dying some brownado. But I think you'll be okay. Okay, so that's your plan for the week, is stitch on water?
Elemental Dragons
Elemental Dragons water.
Considering the fact that it's a little dragon, I kept calling it a baby dragon. You kept correcting me, so...
Whatever. So I don't... I've kind of just been going through what I have left to start on my ornaments that I you know, printed working copies out of. And just going, okay, I want to stitch on this today. I want to stitch on that today. Let my friends pick a couple times.
When do I get to pick?
You can pick tomorrow's ornament. I'll let you pick tomorrow's ornament. I'll pull them out so you can pick out tomorrow's ornament. The only other thing I have planned to start this week is... I need to pull a couple things that are not. The only other thing I have planned to start this week is Friday. Beth Ann, Angie, and I are starting The General Store by Amy Stewart. Kat is starting another Amy Stewart Haid. Laura King is starting something quilts. I can't remember what Laura King's starting. I'm a bad friend.
You're not a bad friend.
Starting The General Store by Amy Stewart. This will be started on Friday. I have enough threads to do like 400 stitches now. So, that's really what's planned. Somewhere in this table is one other. No, it's not in this table. It's either over in the living room or upstairs. But anyways, the only other one I have planned to get started before the end of the month that's not an ornament is Jingle All the Way by Little House Needlework. It's kind of a big project. I counted up my ornaments between what I have left of the ornaments, the Haid, and Jingle All the Way. I had like three extra spots to start something else. I had intended to start Stargazer this month, but due to supply chain issues and not being able to get floss in a timely fashion, I pushed that back. I'm going to look and see what I have, because my friend Bridget likes to start a Pretty Lady for her birthday, and her birthday's at the end of April, so it'll probably just get pushed back to that. There was something else that I wanted to start this month. I had intended to start Al Forrest Embroidery's Blacked Sky. I had bought the pattern and bought 10 skeins of gassed soot. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the heart in me to start it right now, because Al Forrest Embroidery is a Russian company, and I realize that the Russian people are not responsible for their leaders' poor decision-making skills.
You just scared the dog.
I'm sorry, Mandy. But I also don't have the heart in me to start it.
Okay.
So, it is what it is. The last three things may just be... I do know there's one thing in my pile. Anyways, it doesn't...
Moving along.
I'm rambling. Moving along. Did you pick out a pattern for me?
Yes, one on top.
Tomorrow? Alright, so tomorrow we will be starting...
Because it made me laugh.
Season's Greetings by Always Time to Stitch.
Season, actually. There's no S.
Season Greeting by Always Time to Stitch. I'm down with that. And I have a pile of, freebie charts that I have gotten from various sources on the internet that I can start to when I get done with this. What?
I think you're going to go all the way into May.
With this pile. Nope. I counted them. That doesn't, what I counted up does not include these freebies from, let's see, there's a Doreen Jones in here. There's Hands-On Design. Those are not in there. Just what I have from the Just Cross Stitch ornament magazines. I'll actually not have enough to start a new thing every day this month. So I'll have to figure something out. I have a couple things that are like kitted out that are probably my best option to start. I also need to start up my birthday, kit out my birthday start, which is a Greyhound Year by Blue Flower. I don't care. If you want to start something with me for my birthday, go ahead. I don't care what you start. It doesn't have a theme. If you want to work on a project that makes you think of me, that might be dangerous, but go ahead and do that. All right. That's plans, announcements. Witchhold is still running 3 weeks behind on shipping, which is why Stargazer isn't getting started this month like it was supposed to. And that's it. What do we want the people to do, honey?
Like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, bell, all the YouTube stuff.
All the YouTube things, our followable social medias are linked below.
And for the comment, how are y'all dealing with this lovely time change bull Poo-poo.
Dun dun dun. I'm doing better than I thought I would be, honestly. I am.
I don't know how I'm doing because I also don't feel good, so it's just not helping.
Well, this is true.
When we started the time change is the reason why I'm sick.
It
Damn
could be.
evilness.
It could.
Oh, they said the number one problem, health problem people have with flipping a time change was a heart attack and stroke. Because all the discombobulation raises blood pressure.
It's true. Well,
why do we still do this, stupid?
Oh well. It's a fairly good question. All right, folks. Well, we hope you guys had a little bit of enjoyment in our little corner of crazy. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.